How do you define nothing? In Skyrim, you can walk, talk, pray to Todd for news on the Elder Scrolls 6, but all of those things are not tracked in-game in any way. So what is? The general stats screen tracks several statistics such as quests completed, food eaten, and bunnies slaughtered. So our objective is to beat the main quest and keep those statistics at 0 or as close to 0 as possible. I also won't be using any skills, as the game tracks when you use them. I'll be playing on the Anniversary Edition, on Novice difficulty, and I won't be using any major glitches or exploits. We begin by meeting a familiar face.
Hey, you're finally awake.
Lokia became self-aware. I created the perfect being. Alduin arrived, and I entered Helgen Keep with Rayloff. He cut me loose, cut the captain loose, unlocked the gate. I ran past all the enemies, and escaped Helgen. This completes the Unbound quest, and is the first stat to be tracked. I then went straight to Bleak Barrow, which is our first location we must discover. I ran past all the bandits, watched a bandit outlaw commit Sudoku, saved Arvel from the giant spider. He thanked me by dying. The Draugr took care of themselves. I took the golden claw, used it to unlock the door, learned the first word of power. The Overlord awoke. I lured him to an OSHA violation. How the fuck did he not die?
He is the one.
Second time's a charm. His death counts as clearing the dungeon. I took the Dragon Stone and escaped Bleak Barrow. I then discovered Riverwood, as we have to return here later. Spoke to Gerda, which unlocks the Riverwood Calls for Aid dialogue option, so we can enter Whiterun without passing a speech check. Discovered Whiterun and Dragon's Reach. Met Jarl Borlin. Gave the Dragonstone to the Crimson Chin, which completes the Bleak Barrow quest. Balgruuf sent me to slay a dragon. I followed Irilith and the Whiterun Guard. Had to discover the Western Watchtower to trigger the guard to leave. Irilith slew the dragon, then immediately died. I absorbed its soul. The Greybeard summoned me, and I completed Dragon Rising. I followed the northern path to Iverstead, became one with the goats. As I ascended the 748 steps, I read all 10 stone tablets to gain the Voice of the Sky blessing, so animals will no longer attack me. Discovered High Hrothgar, was approached by the Greybeards. To continue the quest, you have to shout at Armgeir.
Shout at us. Let us taste that sexy voice.
Learned the second word of power, unlocked it, and had to use it 3 times to progress the quest. I learned and unlocked the first word of Whirlwind Sprint, which the Greybeards expect you to use, but you can sprint through the gate before it closes without using the shout.
Hello there.
I completed the Way of the Voice, and was off to Ustengrav. As usual, I ran past all of the enemies, parkoured my way past most of the dungeon, and found the Whirlwind Sprint puzzle. The intended way through is to sprint and then use Whirlwind Sprint, but can you get through without it? Followers, summons and other NPCs don't trigger the stones that activate the gates, and I couldn't use them to block the gates and keep them open that way. As far as I'm aware, the only way through without shouting is to use the Boots of Blinding Speed, or to use the Bat's power as a Vampire Lord, but both of these options require quests to be completed and locations to be discovered to obtain, so I had no choice but to use Whirlwind Sprint to proceed. I found Delphine's note, which counts as a book read, escaped Ustengrav, and fast-travelled back to Riverwood. The cult attempted to recruit me.
You're the one they call Dragonborn.
I met Delphine. She sent me on my way to Kyne's Grove. I fast-travelled back to High Hrothgar, learned the final word of Unrelenting Force. The Greybeard shouted at me, I think they enjoyed it more than I did, and I completed the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. I then made my way to Kynesgrove but did not discover it. Alduin resurrected a dragon. Delphine killed it. I absorbed its soul, which is unavoidable, as Delphine won't recognize you as Dragonborn until you do. We regrouped in Riverwood, where she told me the next stage of our plan,
I have a
and I was off to Solitude to meet Malbon. I entered Solitude through the hidden entrance beneath the windmill, entered the Winking Skeever without discovering Solitude, met Malbon, discovered Solitude anyway upon leaving the Winking Skeever. Mirak's witnesses were back.
When Lord Mirak appears, all shall bear witness.
To reach Delphine, you have to discover Catla's farm. I boarded the carriage to the embassy and discovered it. Used Razalan to cause a distraction. Slipped away unnoticed with Malbon. Ran past the Thalmor and into Alanwin's Solar. The Thalmor outside won't follow you in, which gives you a chance to stealthily grab some void salts which we'll need for a surprise tool that will help us later. But this is where things get a little complicated. The entrance to the dungeon is locked by an expert level lock. The key to said lock can be found in a chest and is also carried by Rulindil. And the only way out of the Thalmor embassy is through a trapdoor in the dungeon, which can only be opened with the trapdoor key that is only carried by the 2 Thalmor guards that enter the dungeon with Malbon once you read the Thalmor dossier on Esbern, which means they must either die or be pickpocketed to obtain the key. I tried several methods on how to do this using the Fury spell and the Serpent Stone, which I'll go into more detail on in the description. But the simplest method is to loot the chest for the key, use the Nord Battlecry power, and simply beat the shit out of the guard with your bare fists. Then loot the key and escape through the trapdoor. But I wanted to do this without killing anyone, and that requires a Staff of Fury, which can be acquired as loot from a boss chest. Halted Stream Camp has an entrance that is accessible without discovering the location. Make a save and a quick save before you enter the pit, then drop down and enter the cave. Just inside is a boss chest which has a 15% chance of containing a staff. If you don't see a Staff of Fury, reload the quick save and check again until you find one. Now you could argue this is an exploit, but it's entirely possible you could get a Staff of Fury on your first attempt. So on a technicality, I will allow it. Once you have the staff, exit the cave the same way you entered and immediately fast travel to escape the bandits. Give Malbon the staff so he can smuggle it into the embassy. Find it in the chest with the rest of your gear, run past the guards, grab the void salts, use the staff on the guard, as Rulindil is such a chad it doesn't affect him, wait for him to die, take the key from his corpse, enter the dungeon, read the dossier on Esbern in the chest which counts as a book read, but as long as you don't take it, it won't count as a chest looted. Use the staff on the guards, loot the key, go through the trapdoor and escape the embassy. Return to Bal Delphine to complete diplomatic immunity and be sent to Riften to find Esbern. The front and back gates to Riften are blocked by guards which require a speech check or a bribe to let you in. So instead, make your way to the back of the Riften docks and enter the Blackbriar Meadery. Once inside, you can use the front door to enter and discover Riften. I went down to the Ratway and was cock-blocked by a note from a Creation Club quest which counts as a book read. I reloaded a quick save and was able to enter without reading it. I ignored everything in the Ratway and found Esbern.
No, that's not me. I'm not Esbern. I don't know what you're talking about.
I grabbed the roll of paper and charcoal on his desk for later, booked it out of the Ratway, then fast-travelled back to Riverwood to complete a cornered rat. Esbern told us of his plan to find Alduin's Wall.
Alduin's Wall. Alduin's Wall. Alduin's Wall.
Alduin's Wall.
Alduin's Wall.
Alduin's Wall.
Shut up about
Alduin's Wall.
Shut up
About Alduin's Wall.
So I travelled to the Carve Spire and attempted to Bethesda my way into Skyhaven Temple, but there are invisible walls that block you. So I discovered the Carve Spire and the entrance to Skyhaven Temple, gave blood for the Blood God, found Alduin's Wall,
Show us bones. Here it is. Alduin's Wall.
learned that I needed a shout to defeat Alduin, completed the Alduin's Wall quest, went back to the Greybeards to learn it, but just to confirm, used the TCL command to see if Parthenax would spawn without learning it. He didn't. But I did learn that you only need to learn one word of the shout, and you don't even need to unlock it for Parthenax to appear. You also don't need to use it to reach him. You can walk around the barrier, over a few invisible walls, and you can rejoin the main path. For the final barrier, the same can be done again. I discovered the Throat of the World, met Parthenax, had no choice but to learn the first word of Fire Breath, unlock it, and use it on Parthenax in order to progress. He sent me to find an Elder Scroll. I completed the Throat of the World quest, then went straight to Septimus Cygnus' outpost.
Have you heard of the High Elves?
Once Septimus Cygnus finishes rambling on about Blackreach, he will give you the Attunement Spear and the Blank Lexicon, and we now have a choice to make. Alftund, Mazinchalift and Raldbafar can all be used to access Blackreach. I chose Alftund because it was the closest one to me. As usual, I ran past all of the enemies, used the Attunement Spear to unlock the entrance, entered Blackreach, went inside Sindarian's laboratory to pick up a Greater Soul Gem, found the Tower of Mazark, took the Elder Scroll which completed Elder Knowledge, and used the lift to return to the surface, which won't discover the location for the Tower of Mazark as long as you leave the lexicon behind. I returned to the Throat of the World, read the Elder Scroll which counts as a book read, went back to the past, learned Dragonrend, Gormlaith got what she deserved, went back to the future, used the Dragonrend shout, and got fucking destroyed by Alduin. So how do I defeat him? Parthenax can damage him, but I would have to use the Dragonrend shout a ridiculous number of times to keep Alduin grounded. So I returned to Skyhaven Temple to pick up Dragonbane, went back to High Hrothgar to pick up some Void Salts, travelled to an unmarked location northeast of the THALMOR Embassy to find a Staff of Fireballs, travelled to Champion's Rest, which is added by the Creation Club content in the Anniversary Edition, was able to enter without discovering it by dropping down from above. Inside is a locked gate which can be opened by solving the puzzle next to it. Behind said gate is a staff of ice spikes, and upon leaving the dungeon you will not discover the location. Our next destination is the College of Winterhold, which can be entered without discovering it by parkouring your way up the rocks at its base, and doing so again to reach the hidden entrance to the Midden Dark. A little more parkour will get you up to the entrance, but don't enter too quickly or you will also discover the college.
What an idiot!
Ignore the enemies inside and you will eventually reach the Atronach Forge. Take the broom and the Auric Alchem ingot, combine them with Void Salts and a Greater Soul Gem in the offering box to create a Staff of the Storm Atronach. Then offer the roll of paper, charcoal and the second Void Salts to create a Scroll of Summoned Storm Atronach. These items don't count as crafted items when checking the crafting statistics, so we're good to go. We then exit the Midden the same way we entered, which won't discover the college. The final step is to recruit Lydia,
I am sworn to carry your burdens.
give her Dragonbane and the scroll, and we're ready to face Alduin. Read the Elder Scroll again, learn Dragonrend, Back to the Future Part 2, wait for Alduin's monologue to finish before using Dragonrend, or the game counts it as assault. Immediately summon a Storm Atronach.
You should kill yourself now!
Lydia should use her scroll to do the same. Equip your staffs of Fireball and Ice Spike, and jump him as soon as he lands. With a bit of luck, you'll cripple him before Dragonrend wears off, so you'll only have to use it once to finish the fight. With Alduin defeated, this completes the quest Alduin's Bane, and Parthenax sets us on the path to trap a dragon in Dragon's Reach. Lydia departed into the night, never to be seen again. I convinced Jarl Borlin to help me.
Are you completely off your nut?
The Greybeards agreed to arrange the peace meeting. I went to Solitude to convince Tullius to attend. Speaking to Ulfric meant I had to travel to Windhelm. You can enter Windhelm without discovering it by going through the door that leads to the docks. Once inside, I was jump scared by an orphan, the courier, and Team Rocket.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
I discovered the Palace of the Kings. Ulfric agreed to join the meeting,
Yes.
and I took my seat at the Peace Council. Almost died of boredom. Learned the Call Dragon shout from Esben. Summoned Odahviing. I let everyone else do the hard work. Lured Odahviing into the trap.
Oh my god, stop bro, I'm stuck!
Convinced him to help me.
You will never set foot in Skuldafn.
Flew to Skuldafn. Ran past all the Draugr. Entered the temple. Solved some puzzles. Used a fire trap to kill the Draugr overlord. Took the diamond claw. Opened the door. Escaped the temple. Hauled ass to the portal. And got sent to Racist Heaven, which completes the World Eater's Eyrie. I had a staring contest with Alduin. I won. Used a Storm Atronach to defeat Soon. Met the heroes of old. The quest cannot continue unless you use Clear Skies, so I used Solakania's soul to unlock it. Had no choice but to use it 3 times to clear away the mist. I used Dragonrend on Alduin, summoned a final Storm Atronach, equipped the staffs of Fireball and Ice Spike, beat the shit out of Alduin, dealt the killing blow. Alduin was finally defeated, which completes the Dragonslayer quest and the main quest line. We must then speak to Soon to return to Skyrim, which counts as completing a miscellaneous quest, and we must also learn the shout, Call of Valor. I returned to Skyrim, and the challenge was finally over. So, can you beat Skyrim by doing nothing?
The answer is no.
Was it worth the time I spent making this video?
No.
So what was necessary to beat Skyrim? Well, I discovered 17 locations, cleared 1 dungeon, 13 days passed, which could absolutely be reduced if someone was insane enough to speedrun this. 2 chests were looted, 3 books were read, 18 quests were completed, 1 miscellaneous quest was completed, 18 main quests and 1 quest line were completed, 1 creature was killed, 2 dragon souls were collected, 15 words of power were learned and unlocked, 7 shouts were learned and unlocked, 4 shouts were mastered. I shouted 12 times, the favourite shout was Unrelenting Force, no items were crafted and no crime was committed, for a total of 138 things that must be done and are tracked by the general stats screen. But that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching. Be seeing you.
Alduin's Wall?